Start.
Yeah, it has started, my friend.
So, like, we are starting with our first episode, and we are going to talk about basically this quarantine time. We are starting this podcast, जिसके अंदर honestly हमारे पास कुछ करने को है नहीं. So we thought that let's just do something, and we started this podcast. So this quarantine time and this lockdown time was mainly the main trigger for us to start this because तभी दिमाग में idea आया. So we are going to start our first episode with it. हम लोग बात करने वाले हैं कि हाउ आर वी यूजिंग आवर टाइम एंड लाइक व्हाट आर द पॉजिटिव्स व्हाट आर द नेगेटिव्स हाउ कैन यू यूज. हाँ थोड़ी हंसी आ रही है बिकॉज इट इज अ फर्स्ट एपिसोड बट लाइक इट्स फाइन राइट.
Yes.
So we are going to talk about basically how can you use this time, utilize it and use it positively. So let's start. Divit, एक बात बता, like this time, this is
Yeah.
like something which हम लोगों ने बचपन से कभी नहीं देखा था.
Yeah.
Or I would just like to ask you कि what are the positives and what are the negatives of this quarantine time जो कि तेरे को अपने साथ में मिल रहा है after like so long.
Yeah.
तो हम लोग सोचा करते थे कि वो बोलते हैं there is a quotation that I need a 6 month holidays twice in a year. अब वो आती हुई नजर आ रही है. So
Yeah, correct.
but like कुछ ना कुछ positives भी होंगे कुछ ना कुछ negatives भी होंगे. Let's just talk
Yeah,
about it.
sure. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me personally, I think the positives are I get a lot of family time. Amazing to be, at home and talk to everyone. Everyone seems nice. Never talked to them so much
Yeah.
before. I get a lot of time to introspect. It's very nice, If shit. Skip that. मैं cut कर दूंगा. Don't worry. And what I like, well, like I'm actually catching up, both on work and my sleep schedule, which was really messed up. The negatives, I'll feel that I don't get to go out as much. Nobody does. I'm a person who loves going on walks and just interacting with friends, playing and stuff. But yeah, that's not happening right now. How
Yeah,
is your
that
experience?
these are
Yeah,
the negatives. Okay,
how is
so
your experience so far?
मैं बताता हूँ. सो नेगेटिव्स जैसे तेरा स्लीप साइकिल सुधर गया मेरा बिगड़ गया था ऑनेस्टली. Like it was going really bad but धीरे धीरे like I will talk about this further in the podcast like how you should make a routine and stuff but like slowly I have started to make a routine और अब थोड़ा सा पहले से better हुआ है. But talking about the positives, I would say कि मेरे I found time to get a online intern like a work from home internship जो मैंने ढूंढी थी. And I figured out something about it कि मुझे अपने ही आगे करियर के बारे में पता चला कि आई एम नॉट गुड इन a specific thing. अच्छा हुआ मैंने वो internship कर ली. फिर I started an online course which is like really important. It doesn't matter if you have free time or not. The process of learning should never end. I've started reading a lot and I would say कि I have start like for example this podcast ये idea हमारे दिमाग में
Yep.
आया because we were sitting at home. फिर
Yep.
कहते हैं दिमाग में कुछ आया नहीं तो आइडिया आ गया कि let's just start something, we have time, let's do it. So these are all the positives. When it comes to negatives, I would say like I was going great in my fitness journey. I had already lost like 12 kilos and I was planning to go on a further cut. लेकिन वो रुक गया क्योंकि the gyms are closed and I cannot continue my workouts the way I used to. Even though जैसे मुझे पता चला था कि कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स होने वाली है मैंने थोड़ा इक्विपमेंट घर पे मंगवा लिया था. आई एम डूइंग स्टफ बट जो इंटेंसिटी पहले होती थी वो नहीं हो पा रही है. सेकेंडली धीरे धीरे आई हैव रियलाइज दैट दिस सेमेस्टर हमारा पूरा वेस्ट हो गया. लाइक यू हैव टू रियलाइज इट. लाइक वी आर इन द सेम कॉलेज तो हम लोग ये मान सकते हैं कि इस सेमेस्टर में हम लोग कुछ खास सीखने को मिला नहीं. राइट. So we are definitely missing out on some stuff, but anyways, like we have to cover it up by reading other stuffs and all. Because now, if we have time, we have to utilize it in some way or another. So these are
Yeah.
all the negatives. और थोड़ा बाहर नहीं जाने को मिलता है, and of course, like it is scientifically proven when you're not interacting with people, if you're not getting the sunlight, if you're not working out, then depression, anxiety ये सब कुछ होता है because कुछ hormonal changes होते हैं. There's a decrease in dopamine, increase in cortisol. तो ये सारी problems होती रहती है.
Yeah.
So
So
अब एक काम करते हैं. Let's just get to the point. हम लोगों ने decide करा. We had made a list, right? कि
yeah.
what all can we do in this quarantine time? Like I have put down 5 points. जो कि आई थिंक एवरी कॉलेज गोइंग किड और एनीवन जो कि जिसके पास अभी फ्री टाइम है. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू आर अ ऑफिस गोइंग पर्सन of course, like you would be having some work to do. Work from home लोगों का चल रहा है. It is like it would be a difficult task for you. लेकिन अगर you are college going kid या फिर school going kid, तो उसके लिए what all you should do. कुछ points इसके अंदर सबके लिए, लेकिन कुछ specific points ऐसे भी हैं जो कि सिर्फ वही लोग कर पाएंगे. The ones who are fully well. Right? तो start कौन कर रहा है? दिव्य करना है कि मैं करूँ?
No, you go first, man.
तो सबसे पहला पॉइंट जो मैंने डाला था, that is fitness. Now you would be thinking कि इस टाइम पे fitness, okay, let me tell you. During this time when this corona shit is going on, it is really important for you to develop your immunity, right? And there are some scientifically given immunity depleters and immunity, enhancers. और उसके अंदर, if you are not, doing your physical activity, and if you are not eating properly, that will suppress your immune system, and that is true. उसके लिए scientific evidence है, you can go and check that out. इसके अंदर बहुत सारी चीजें होती हैं. In fact, isolation is a big immunity suppressor, and isolation इस time पे सबको, मतलब like that is a mandatory thing that we all need to be in the isolation. But just keep this in mind कि have a proper diet. इस time पे if you are a smoking guy, like if you smoke, if you drink, please stop. That should not be on your system right now, and focus on fitness थोड़ा सा इस time पे, because that will also benefit your immune system a lot. Number 2, फिटनेस. मैं कह रहा था कि प्रॉब्लम है, मेरा जिम क्लोज हो गया है, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली व्हाट आई हैव नोटिस इज कि क्योंकि मैं घर पे, इट इज इजियर टू track my calories and stay in a proper deficit for me, or मतलब maintaining a diet is much easier. So just use this time to utilize it. अगर तुम, if you are a if you are a fitness junkie, or अगर if you want to just start, so it is the right time, because you don't have access to junk food and all. Or also one thing you can start, like मैंने start कर रखा है. This is one thing that I've did अभी recently. I have started intermediate fasting, in which you don't eat anything for 16 hours, और उसके बाद जो 8 hours होता है तुम सिर्फ उसी के अंदर पे सारा खाना लेते हो. So that is how you can make diet changes and all. Number 2 जो मेरा point था, that is online courses. जैसे कि I had said before that in this point, if you are a student, your education should not stop at all. Your college is closed, your school is closed, no matter, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता. The process of learning should never end, or online courses are the best things that you can do right now. For example, I have started a course in business essentials, like Excel essentials for business. That is like really important. Technical skills ultimately are the most important things when it comes to employment, और किसी के बारे में बात करो. Number 3 is that you can find work from home internships. Internship है, LinkedIn है, बहुत सारे ऐसे platforms है through which you can find your internships. So घर पे बैठे बैठे you can work for an organization, earn a quick buck, and also learn work. तो I work for a couple of companies थोड़े time के लिए, और मुझे कुछ सीखने को मिला. I just got to know कि sales is something which I used to think it is very easy, and it is something that I will be able to do. लेकिन जब मुझे actually वो करने को मिला, I was doing a internship in which I had to sell some online courses, and trust me, it is really difficult to convince people. Like, और मुझे समझ में आया कि it is not going to be a cup of tea if I am going in a career of sales and marketing.
Yeah, man, you could not even sell them to me.
Exactly. So it's definitely like मुझे कुछ सीखने को मिला कि from doing online internships, work from internships, you will come to know कि तुम्हारे लिए क्या सही है और क्या सही नहीं है, which is really important. कि तुम इस time पे when you are in college, you should know कि what is a good career option for you and what is not. Number 4 is develop a routine. Now it is really difficult, or in fact this time पे you can see a lot of memes and posts coming up on the internet that लोग 5 बजे सो रहे हैं, 2 बजे उठ रहे हैं, दैट इज देयर न्यू रूटीन एंड ऑल. इट इज लाइक बहुत कुछ चल रहा है, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली जस्ट रिमेंबर कि इफ यू आर नॉट in a proper routine, you will not be productive, you will not be able to utilize this time, and moreover if you are sleep deprived, again immunity कम होगी, you will be more prone to getting any illness, not just corona, any illness. नंबर 5 मैंने लिखा है डेवलप अ हॉबी एट दिस टाइम यू आर एट होम फॉर एग्जांपल आई हैड नेवर डन दिस पॉडकास्ट बिफोर आई हैड इन फैक्ट नेवर एवर रिकॉर्डेड समथिंग अपने लिए पहले दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई एम डूइंग फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम सेम गोes with Divit most probably
Yep,
I don't know
true.
so like we have developed a hobby and that's what we are doing right now so you have plenty of time just go for it so that's it these are my 5 points जिसके बारे में मैंने सोचा था that you should be doing at this time also like it's great time जिसके अंदर like people are starting their own blogs starting a channel start like we are starting a podcast so you have plenty of time go for it so what are your points Divit?
Yeah, man. So, actually, I did not realize you were doing points, so I wrote mine while you were speaking.
All right.
Uh, yes, yeah. So, I think the one of the main points I find, see, you have a lot of time, right? We all do. We should,
Yeah.
I think, we should. One of the things that I think people don't realize they can do is learn about the different online softwares and apps they actually already use. Like for example, Zoom. Zoom has recently seen a very big increase in its user base,
Yeah.
and it's
In
mostly
fact,
due to this
but
quarantine time. But but you have to
and
yeah,
all.
but you realize that you'll use it even after this ends, right? So you should
Yeah.
just jump into it, learn. It's growing now. It has increased. It will even I think it will get updated a lot even after the quarantine because its user base is now so big. So you should learn about the app. You should
Yes.
learn how to exactly use it. One more thing, health, or more specifically mental health. As Shubham has already covered the physical aspects of it, the fitness part. I think mental health is also deserves a mention because these are times of isolation. Yeah, no, you get a lot of time to yourself. You think more, and you just I guess emote a lot because me being a very emotional person, I'll admit that. I tend to not have a very good mental health. You can build that by talking to your friends and family and maintaining connections even though it's through video call or just normal call or even texting. Another thing, as you talked about balance or more importantly, sleep schedule and stuff. I think
Yeah.
in these quarantine times, even though it doesn't, we often say that we don't have a balance in our schedules, but I think everyone has a balance, but they don't realize that if that balance is good for them or not. See, I think everybody knows right now in these times when you have a lot of time to yourself that how much you sleep, how much you play, how much you I guess in your example spend on workouts, or in my case I like to play video games, and I know how much time I spend generally. But so even though I know that even if I study for this many hours and I play for this many hours, then I have a schedule, I have a balance. But see, there will always be situations like for example, taking the most common example of students, when our exams comes, we obviously have to focus more on studies. So we balance it out by borrowing time from some other activity, which in my parents' case must come from video games. But honestly, I sacrifice my sleep for that. And the main thing is in these times, I think we should you know acknowledge our balance or acknowledge our schedule and then shift around as we find fit. That's all.
All right.
Yep.
So, like you were talking about Zoom, or
Yeah.
like I remember like reading a lot of digital platforms like the world is going into recession and like
Yeah.
almost all the businesses are seeing problems. Like in all the digital platforms are seeing a boom right now. That's
Mm.
why it is also the best time to start a podcast. I don't know how many views are we going to get on this, but still, like, लोग घर पे
Yeah.
वेले हैं क्या पता you never know. But Zoom has I remember seeing a meme जिसके अंदर बोला था the real person, the real organization behind this corona conspiracy is this Zoom to increase its sales and all.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much true. कि मतलब काफी
Yeah. So even entertainment apps like House Party, Zoom is
house
somewhat
party
professional. House Party just grew like crazy in these times, man. That was
like उठा and it became like so famous अचानक से मतलब पता नहीं कहाँ
yeah.
से like Skype ही कमी थी क्या सर उसी कोई कमी थी, I don't know, but like again like हो रहा है तो हो रहा है. It is the
Yeah.
great, like it is a great to make an audience if you have if you have a skill.
Different situations. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's it for today. Abhi, this was our first podcast in which we just tried to talk about stuff. Let's see how things go ahead. So that's it. Thank you from Shubham and Divit.
See ya, guys.
See you guys.